T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Aric Fiscus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Hello there.
How you doing?
How you doing? You caught me off guard.
Off guard.
I believe I did that one episode about 10 times, so I wore it out.
Hey,
Hey.
episode 129 of the Play It By Ear podcast.
129 is sexy. Don't you think?
Oh, we're coming in hot today.
Yes, we are. All right, I'm your congenial ringmaster of frivolity.
Nice. I don't
Nice.
have one of those. Brady and I don't have one of those. We need one of those.
Yes, well,
I need a
You have the
placard.
ability.
I
You have the ability.
have to think of something.
Yeah.
I thought of something, but
Hee-haw.
yeah. Am I allowed to joke about it?
No,
What?
not unless you want to get canceled.
That's true. That's true.
Canceled with a T. Todd
Ooh.
Griffin is with us. And Brady Liming with his dulcet tones of mucus-filled coughing,
Oh,
like he smoked about 10 packs of cigarettes.
I don't know, honey.
Smoke him if you got him.
Oh, by the way, I was doing the bushwhackers thing. From the
Yeah, one
he
of them just
passed
died.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bushwhacker Bill, I think. Yeah,
Bushwhacker.
one of the
It's a pretty unthreatening name, the Bushwhackers.
Yeah, well, they were the sheep herders in Memphis wrestling, and they were known for their Abdul the Butcher like bloodbaths and barbed wire and things like that. And they totally made them cartoon characters, but they still couldn't do that gimmick today where they would lick the top of the heads of little kids.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
not post-COVID.
yeah, wouldn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
Savannah's with us.
I had a joke. I had a joke right there. I was going to make about something, but I didn't want to get
Don't
canceled.
get canceled.
Canceled. Maxwell's
What's
with
the
us.
matter?
Maxwell.
All right, this is again episode 129 of the Play It By Ear podcast. Visit our website, www.playitbyearpodcast.com. Tells you all about our show. We will refer to it from time to time here on the show.
Before we get too deep into it, I wanted to ask Maxwell. We would like an update because many months ago, at the beginning of the school year, you said you got into a little bit of heat for listening to our podcast at school. So wanted an update on that.
Did you get a detention, Maxwell?
I was thinking about this the other day, and it just dawned
The
on
Play It
me.
By Ear podcast calls you to be in after-school detention.
That would be a great shirt. Play it by your podcast. You'll get suspended, or you'll get detention
Yes, indeed.
and canceled.
Canceled from freedom.
All right. If you've not been a connoisseur of our show before, We, or maybe you don't know, so I'll tell you. We each bring a topic to the table. We have not discussed said topic before this very moment. So the conversation is, as we like to say, organic. So you'll be hearing it for the first time. Maxwell did not get detention. You guys' headphones taken away.
Tooken.
The nerve.
Man.
You should have let the teacher listen. Say, hey, listen to this here.
I'm educating myself.
Exactly. This is high level conversation here. I'm not listening to some, off the wall whatever. This will learn you something.
That's right.
Some book learning.
All right, we are in the order on the screen in which we will present our topics. I will MC the game of the evening, which is Geared Sharks.
Card sharks for
That was
the
for the uninitiated.
yeah.
Who was the last host, or who was the most famous host of Geared Sharks?
Jim Perry.
Jim Perry. Wasn't it? Did
Bob Eubanks host.
Bob Eubanks?
I
Yeah,
thought
that's
it was
what I
Bob.
remember. Yeah.
About said Bob Euchre. Bob Eubanks.
Jim Perry was the original. Then it shifted
Jim
from NBC to CBS, and I believe that's when Bob Eubanks took over.
Gotcha.
And then there was an ABC version here. I think they may have canceled that though.
Gotcha.
Joel, I can't remember Joel's last name, but he was the most recent host.
Is it Joel McHale?
Joe McKess. Yeah.
I love Joel McHale, man. He's awesome.
He's tall.
He's got a new Hulu show, or I think it's called Animal Control. Oh,
See?
did it fade out? That's him.
His face is on the box.
Yes.
He's tall. Have I mentioned he's tall?
Is he
But
tall?
that show,
Yeah,
Animal
I
Control.
think he's like 6. No, that might not be who I'm thinking of. Maybe. Yeah, I think he's like 6'6" or something like that. Something
I'm
crazy.
thinking of
tall.
Kevin
Really?
McHale.
No, I think that's him.
I'm teasing.
I wonder if he's related to Kevin.
Yeah, I wonder.
All right. Todd.
One of the
You
best
have-
postmen in basketball history.
Indeed.
And had 1,000 moves.
Yep. You have the floor, Todd.
All right. So I don't know if you guys did Am I the Assle when I was taking a break, but if you did, people might be familiar with it. This is a subreddit entitled "Am I the Anuse? Am I the Assle?"
Asshole.
ASSLE.
Yes. Am I the bung button?
Am I the balloon knot?
Did I get you, Aric?
Am I the prune
Just
whistle?
about.
So what this is these are real stories, I assume, that people wrote in and are they're pleading their case, so to speak. They're asking the public if their behavior or their actions deem them assholes. So we'll be the judge of that, and our distinguished listeners.
Yes.
First off, am I the asshole for only showering once a week?
Pretty.
All right. I, 24 male, know that a lot of people will just look at the title and say, I'm in the wrong because of the stigma, but hear me out. It's winter where I live, so I'm consistently cold and not really sweating or anything. I usually shower when I feel gross, and it usually takes me 5 to 6 days before I actually start feeling gross. I'm not crazy. In the summer, when it's hot and sticky, I shower every 2 to 3 days like normal, but it just doesn't feel necessary in the winter. Anyway, the inciting incident here was on Sunday. I was ordering more shampoo and commented on how the price had almost doubled since last time. My girlfriend, 29 female, asked when I last ordered it, and it was sometime in mid-2020. She was shocked and asked, how did it take you almost 3 years to go through a bottle of shampoo? I told her that I don't use a lot, and eventually we got into how frequently I showered, and she acted like I was crazy. She didn't even know that I was averaging 1 shower a week because I keep good hygiene. I groom myself regularly and wear deodorant, so I don't think anyone can really tell the difference. Then my girlfriend, we'll call her Granite, what a weird, that's strange, starts going on about how that explains the smell and stuff
Wait a
like
minute. Is this Aunt Gary Sandy and Ann Margrock?
that.
I know. Carrie Granite got upset when Ann Margrock dumped him and left him for Stoney Curtis.
So the girlfriend says, "Oh, that explains the smell," and stuff like that. I totally think she was making it up at this point. I've been dating her for 2 years and she's never commented about smell or anything. There's no way she just happened to decide that I smell bad now that she knows my shower schedule. She's just trying to shame me. We argued for a while about it and then she went home. Today, I saw my mom, 56 female. Why do they put that? Why does that matter? For lunch. And I told her about it. She agreed with me that it's fine and that she's never thought that I looked greasy or unkempt. My mom also said that I should consider showering at least a couple times a week if Granite has a problem with it. But if she can't actually tell the difference, why bother? I'm considering trying to say that I'm showering every other day, but keeping my normal routine. If she can actually tell the difference, she will know it. But if not, then it's just a little white lie. Is this wrong for me to do? Am I a supervillain just because I'm not following the societal norm? I remember reading that overshowering can cause head lice, but no one even talks about that. Reddit,
What?
has anyone else been in a similar scenario?
I got to get past that piece of fake news he just dropped there at the end. Now, I know I don't know everything, but it seems like I would have been, being an elementary school teacher for many years, they would have said, hey, stop showering so you don't get the lice. That's never happened.
No.
So, anyway, sorry, I digress.
Well, we know what to do here. Is he the Assle?
Well, I think some things need to be deconstructed here. First of all, how intimate are he and Granite?
Well, I do have the very first comment on this says, quote, then my girlfriend will call her Granite. I'm literally in tears. Why the F would you call her that? I thought the same thing.
Because she's got a heart of stone.
Granet. Granite.
G-R-A.
Spell that again?
Granet. Granite.
Granite.
Are you sure it's not Garnet?
Nope. It's Granet. Granite.
Maybe Garnet is her real name, and he's just...
Yeah, would it be Granette?
Grenade. I don't know.
Could it be Grenade? Could the T be silent?
Jeanne.
Well, I don't think the French like to shower either, do they? So maybe it is a silent T.
I will only say this. I will say this. I do think that some people and people in general can overshower. I will agree with him with that. And I do think there are negative consequences to overshowering.
Water bill.
Well, not only the water bill, but I think that a lot of soaps, a lot of products and things like that do more harm than good. Yeah. But that's all I'm going to say. And then I'm going to let you guys decide whether you think he's the asshole or not.
Well, I don't think we could call him the Anus unless he smells like Anus. So I'm going to take him at his word. I have been blessed that I'm not stinky. I don't sweat a lot. But man, if I only showered once a week, I don't care how immaculate and little I sweat. Sorry. I'm not going to call him an anus, but I think he is overstating his lack of funk. Now, I will agree that I think his girlfriend played the funk card because he had just said it and she was trying to make a point and change. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
So,
well, what I crack up at is how he goes. I mean, he's 24 years old and he goes to his mom. Now there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I go to my parents daily, weekly, whatever, to ask him about everything. But I just find that funny that he goes to his mom to ask about whether he stinks or not.
Mom, do I smell like anus? That's it.
So I don't think I could say it any more succinctly than Maxwell did. So I'll just put his comment up here. He is more of a nuisance. I agree. I don't think he's an anus. A nuisance. That's a good word.
It's a great word.
Nice job,
we raised you well, Maxwell.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Glad you didn't get suspended after all. Or detention.
Savannah Brady took the words out of my mouth.
Took the words right out of her mouth.
You smell like anus.
Poorly executed.
Hey,
But
well, the corpse is dead. It was executed. It might not have been clean, but the point was given.
on a hot summer night, do you offer your throat to the wolf with the red roses?
Uh,
Meow-the-waff, little meow-the-waff humor there, folks. May he rest in peace.
So I say not the NUs.
I say not the NUs.
I say not the NUs either.
All right, next. Easy. That was easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Am I the asshole for bringing my daughter to a child-free wedding?
Oh, here we go.
This is going to get some. This is going to get some gander or some dander raised. Gander. Dander is what I meant to say.
See these goose heads popping up over the church pews.
All right. I, 32 female, have a 15-year-old daughter. My sister, 35 female, got married last week. I was her MOH. I've learned that means maid of honor.
Oh.
My sister said that no children will be allowed at her wedding as they are loud and noisy. I brought my 15-year-old daughter because her aunt was getting married and she wanted to wish her well. I'm going to stop right there. You don't get to take your 15-year-old daughter somewhere because your daughter wants to do something. I think you probably can tell where I'm going to side on this one.
Yes.
At the wedding, my parents were shooting me daggers, and my sister came over furious. She asked, who was I to completely disregard her rules?
Rules.
I was confused until she pointed out that my daughter should not be there. I argued, saying that the reason she didn't want children there was because they would misbehave. My daughter was silent, never on her phone, and was extremely respectful. I left the wedding early, and my parents are blowing up my phone with angry texts. My husband agrees with me, but says I could have handled the situation better. My sister is poo on your husband. Grow a spine, husband. My sister's refusing to speak with me until I apologize, but I don't think I did anything wrong. So am I the asshole?
We might have some disagreements here. Not in principle, but in practicality.
What is a child? What is a child?
What child is this?
When I think of child-free weddings, I think is to keep crybaby toddlers from ruining the wedding video.
Yes.
And right in the middle of nuptials saying, I gotta poop. And it like fills up the church.
Well, you might have to rule out some senior citizens too. It's
that's true.
Hopefully me when I'm one.
Yeah.
Senior citizens will just poop right there in the pew, won't they?
Yeah, hopefully me when I'm one.
Pew indeed. But no, like I'm going to say I will excuse her from anally if she did not, in her best intentions, consider her daughter a child. Because I think a 15-year-old will be absolutely fine at a wedding ceremony. Now, I'm going to peel back another layer. If there is going to be a lot of revelry and consumption of adult beverages and potential bad behavior, where she wanted the wedding party and the patrons to be able to let their hair down without the judging eyes of a child or a teenager. Yeah. Okay.
That was my best jut.
Yeah. I don't know. In principle, she is the ANUs. But in practicality, come on. There's gotta be more to this.
I don't know that there has to be more to it. Now, what I will say, let me before Aric gives his opinion here, I will say this disclaimer. It doesn't say in here whether I'm going to get canceled. Darn it. Okay, there are too many people treating their 15-year-olds like adults out there. Parents treating their 15-year-old like adults and their best friends, which is part of the problem in society right now. Canceled. Here we go. But because of that, though, she should have asked her sister what the age limit was. I mean, if if someone says no children at the wedding, you don't just assume you don't make up a number and say, well, I bet that means anybody over or under 14, or I bet that means anybody under 12.
Yeah.
You ask.
Yeah.
Because in my book, 15-year-old is still a child. But I agree, Brady, that the reason you don't want a 15-year-old at your wedding, if you don't want a 15-year-old at your wedding, is different than the reason you don't want a 6-month-old. But I also say, when you said you believe a 15-year-old would be completely fine, I think it depends on if there's more than one 15-year-old.
That's a valid point.
So,
that is a
Aric,
valid point. So I'm going to come at you before Aric opines. I'm going to come at you with this. Now, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just coming at you with a pithy thought. If we send our 15 and 16-year-olds to post-secondary, to college, we kind of treat them like adults.
But they're not adults.
Correct.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. I
see the slippery slope. You know,
it's a slippery slope.
It's mixed messages.
It's a slippery slope.
Indeed, it is.
But go ahead, Aric. Aric, you chime in, man. We've been. It's your floor.
Filibustering.
You got the floor.
Yeah, you have trodden all over me up to this point.
Yes.
So if there was not an age stated, it sounds like the intention was stated. There's letter of the law and there's spirit of the law. The spirit of the law here seems to be noisy children, babies, toddlers, children who do not know when to make noise and when not to make noise. I think for the most part, especially since the 15-year-old was like a niece. I mean, that's a pretty close relation.
Yeah.
You know, I could see, you know, some person who was like last on the invite list bringing their child or whatever. That's different. Yes, she should have asked. That is the reason why I will say she is an ANU's, because she didn't ask.
And this brings up an interesting dynamic, because like you think it would have come up. It seems like there was an awful lot of assuming going on.
Yeah,
like
I agree. I think it shows maybe some deeper family
issues what I'm saying. There's more to this.
So I would agree. There's more to this. I do have a couple edits, a couple updates by the poster if you would like to hear them.
Yes.
Based on the responses, I understand that I was rude for not at least checking in first. I should have verified whether or not my daughter could come. There was no malintent, but all the same, I will apologize to my sister and daughter. My sister and daughter are very close. Another reason why I thought she would have been invited. So I'll stop right there a second. That's kind of the apology, but then without the apology, because like it doesn't matter how close your sister could be close to your 1-year-old daughter as well. And it doesn't mean that the rules should be broken. And also it goes into the whole thing of if the sister says, okay, I really met anyone who's not 18, but your daughter can come. Well, then how many people is she going to piss off because their 15-year-old daughter or their 16-year-old daughter or their 14-year-old daughter, you know what I mean? So I think it's I can understand why the bride would want a black and white line.
Yeah.
Next edit. I have seen these questions a lot. So the invite was pretty generic that said, we hope to see you at our wedding with the RSVP info, dress code, etc. I RSVP'd 2 people, my daughter and I. I believe my sister thought the 2 RSVPs were my husband and I. Well, duh. What would you think? I mean, come on.
So wait a minute. So the husband didn't go, but the daughter
husband
did?
didn't go. She RSVP'd 2. Apparently didn't put my daughter and I. She just 2 for her daughter and I. So her sister thought her and her husband. Why wouldn't her sister think her and her husband?
There's more to this. I'm telling you.
My husband did not attend as he was suddenly called out of town for work conference. Suddenly. So when you RSVP'd, why didn't you put 3 if he was said, this girl's full of poop? So if
something doesn't smell right, no pun intended.
So when you reply, you put 2. And you RSVP, you put 2. Not knowing at that point your husband's going to get called out of town last minute.
Now I'd back up. She put 2 thinking her and her husband, then the husband gets called out of town. Now she's thinking, hey, I don't want to go to this wedding by myself. Now I'm going to take daughter with me.
And sister should be okay with that.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's not
I'm
what.
being honest.
But she's lying here when she says she originally RSVP'd for her and her daughter. I don't believe that for a minute. Again, why would you not RSVP for your husband, not knowing he was going to get called out of town? So she continues. There was a place setting, chair, etc. for my daughter because I RSVP'd 2 people. I assumed my daughter would be allowed because my sister stated that she didn't want children at the wedding due to noise, tantrums, misbehaviors, etc. Last edit.
Uh-oh.
I apologize to my sister and daughter. We are all doing well relationship-wise. Thank you for your insight. So I'm guessing she got raked over the coals in the comments.
Do you think there might? Okay, I'm playing Satan's console here. Do you think that the sister might have been a bridezilla too?
I don't
I'm
know.
reading betwixt the lines.
I don't know if there's enough evidence here for that,
Yeah.
but I do think this sister. Here's what I really think happened. I like Aric's theory, but I have another theory, and that is this sister knew that she should ask, but didn't. She knew what her sister meant, and that her daughter was really not welcome. And she was basically saying, "You're not going to tell me what to do, and you're not going to allow me to keep my daughter from coming to your wedding." Or she would have just asked.
Which again could shed light on deeper family issues.
Yeah, exactly.
And the parents sided with the bride sister.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting as well.
All right. So I think we did some good here, guys.
Yeah.
This is a
All
good
right.
deep dive.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole girlfriend? Oh, no, sorry. Am I the asshole? Girlfriend keeps taking Oreos and putting them in pickle jar.
Oh man, that's
Asshole.
criminal.
Stop.
That's
Next.
criminal. There's no even need to read
Well, hey,
that.
Well, hang on. I don't know if the boyfriend's asking if he's the asshole because of something he did, or if he's asking if his girlfriend's the asshole
It
for
could be.
pickleizing the
He's
Oreos.
wrong. Next.
Hang on a second.
I'm teasing.
Oreos.
I, 22 male, have been with my girlfriend, 32 female, for about 6 months now. And at the beginning of our relationship, I noticed when making us sandwiches that her pickle jar had what looked like copious amounts of pepper. Is that a euphemism?
I was looking at her pickle jar, if you knew what I mean. Yeah, that sounds horrible.
I don't mean to stare, honey.
I think if that's a euphemism, I think she may need a doctor.
I don't mean to stare, honey, but you got a lot of
You have a copious
you got a
amount of
copious amount of pepper in your pickle, in your
Piece
pickle
of pepper's
jar.
away from that pickle jar, honey.
Excuse my alliteration, but there's a lot of pepper in the pickle jar. What would people say about the pepper in your pickle jar? All right, so didn't think much of it till we moved in together a week ago, and there were Oreos in my pickle jar, and it's
What?
exclamation point. Yeah,
What?
Please tell me it's all caps.
it is. It's bold exclamation all caps. That's why I said it that way. I was with effect. I wouldn't be mad if she had her own separate jar of pickles for this, but she ruined the household pickles.
Right.
Blind.
I told her that was that have household pickles. I told her that was disgusting, and she literally didn't think about anybody else who may have wanted a regular damn pickle. She claims it's okay because I never noticed until I actually saw it. Oh, so this is back to the.
Hold on. Time out. He's upset because the pickles may have been fettered by the Oreos and not the other way around.
What a plot twist, fellas! What a plot twist!
Yeah.
Stick out your pipe and smoke it.
Wants a regular damn non-Oreoized pickle.
Well, wait a minute. Can you imagine the horror though? If I don't eat pickles, but if I reached in and pulled that gherkin out of the jar and it was crusted with Oreo dust, I'm not thinking it's Oreo dust. I'm thinking it's soiled.
Oh man.
Yeah, this took a turn.
It did. I was not ready for that. And we learned this together. That's the great thing about this show.
Playing in my ear.
All right.
Huh?
So here's what I noticed though. She did the same thing that the first couple about the whole, like he's saying she never noticed his smelling until she found out that he wasn't showering. He says She says it's okay because I never noticed until I actually saw it. So she's saying that he never even knew that she was using his pickle jars for Oreos until he saw them.
I'm still just slightly confused here.
I'm
So-
hung up on this. I'm with you, Eric.
Let me finish. I think this might clear it up. So I don't want
Okay.
soggy Oreos in my pickles. And now she's refusing to speak to me because she says I overreacted by telling her she wasn't considerate. Am I the asshole?
Run, dude. No, you're not. Run.
Wait a minute. You're taking the pickle guy's side?
Heck yeah. Because anybody is crazy enough to put Oreos in a pickle jar probably has a few heads in the deep freeze, too.
So
Something ain't right.
So there's a jar with pickles, pickle juice, and Oreos.
Yes.
Nobody
Why?
wants a briny sour Oreo.
What is the practicality of all this? I need there's got to be some edit to this.
There's an edit.
Does she like Oreolized pickles or pickles?
There's an edit. It says,
Okay.
Pickled
Okay.
Oreo.
oh man, I thought the last one would get our danders up. To answer some questions, I bought
Please.
all the groceries and even told her I'd get an extra jar if she requested. She thinks I'm overreacting since I didn't notice until I saw the Oreos. As to why she does it, she said, quote, she just likes the sweet, salty, and sour mixture, which I get, but like maybe use a Tupperware dish and serve it as you go.
I legit just almost gagged right there. The thought went through my mind of pickle taste and Oreo taste together. I can't.
I'm pretty sure Eileen Wernos put Oreos in her pickle jar. He needs to run.
So what I'm confused about though, Brady, here's so is it so it's the pickle girl and not the so he likes Oreos, right? No, he likes pickles.
He likes pickles.
He likes pickles. He just don't want them to be fouled by Oreo. I don't like pickles, but I respect a man who doesn't want polluted pickles, especially with Oreo, which don't belong.
Well, there's a lot of comments that say
Like
that there's a lot of comments that allude to her being a serial killer.
Really? See, I'm telling you,
It's totally possible.
The
here.
first one is not saying she's a serial killer, but I'm saying this would completely fit into a serial killer's profile.
I know there are some May-December romances that work out, but you got to wonder right off the bat, 32 female, 22 male. I mean, it's off the beaten path. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it's funny you say that, Eric. Let me bring it back up. Here.
Ah,
Now, I am not one who I am not an ageist. I think it's great if a 10-year age gap. I've known lots of people that have bigger age gaps than that, and it works out just fine. So I don't think it's the age gap as much as it's maybe his age within that age gap. He's 22. He's pretty young.
yeah.
So, and I don't mean to insult any 22-year-olds, but I just,
And we're not calling her an out-and-out cougar.
no, not at all.
We're just,
But it's funny because this person says, I love how this story starts out with little red flags before getting to the giant one. Decade plus age gap, red flag. Moving in together after a few months, 2 red flags. Oreos in the pickle jar, and he's got like 20 red flags after it.
There is a red flag warning out for our area.
Yes, there is.
All right. So the unwritten rule states half your age plus 7 or 8. I'm not sure what it is. So she's 32. 16 plus 8 is 24. She violates the rule. Just saying, she violates the rule.
Yeah, you're right. This person here says I'm leaning towards alien, pretending to be human.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think he's the asshole. I think that's what he's asking. He asked if he's the asshole.
No.
I don't
And-
necessarily think either one of them are the assholes. But it's an easy fix. You have, okay, I'm assuming if the family can afford pickles and Oreos, that they can afford Oreos and 2 jars of pickles.
2 jars. And if she is opposed to that, I'm going to call it. I'm going to pull the camera real close. She's a control freak. If she refuses to allow him to buy a $3 jar of kosher dills,
But she's essentially saying that though, because
that's the red
she's
flag.
accusing him of overreacting. I don't think it's an overreaction at all.
I don't either. See, I get a little bit funny. I don't like it if there's okay, I'm trying to think of if there is something, and Todd, you're an up again and a non in it person. It's like, that's in it and again it and pickling it. You know what I mean? It's chunks in there.
I don't even.
That's just gross, no matter what it is.
And I like pickles. And I like Oreos. And I could see a sweet pickle, a swickle, if you will.
A gherkin.
A sweet gherkin. Or maybe even a bread and butter pickle. Not being bad in an Oreo. But I don't want my Oreos soaking in the pickle use.
Yeah, because you're basically just going to have, cookie dough in the dill juice.
Well, see, that's what I don't understand. I mean, you guys don't know what this is like, but dipping your Oreo in milk is one of the greatest things ever. So dipping here's what you're going to have. Here's what you're going to open the refrigerator, and it's going to be just a sewer in a jar. It's going to be pickle juice with just Oreo flecks and shrapnel, and then just little chunks of the Oreo cream that have separated and broken, just floating in there.
Oh.
Is that a good visual? Just float like a buoy in there, like an Oreo cream buoy. There's no way those things hold up in a pickle jar. Now, or do you think the pickle juice has been dumped?
Do you know what I see? All I can visualize, and I'm not trying to not answer your question, but all I can visualize is somebody reaching in and pulling this Oreo out of the pickle jar, and the white dual stuff is green.
Well, yeah, but there's not even that left. It won't hold up. I mean, and only that, but you go to grab the Oreo and it just disintegrates in your hand like dirt.
There's an Oreo silt film.
Yeah,
silt, Oreo silt, silted melt. That's yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Silted pickle uis. April, happy birthday, April Flowers.
April, it's her birthday. I got to give it a happy birthday, April. You may not remember this, and maybe you do, but one of our science professional development seminars we went to, you were so entertaining, and God bless you. That got me through that day.
I do have to point out, though, he does say in the thing that he does do the grocery shopping, and he's not asking her to go buy him a separate jar. He does the grocery shopping and buys the pickles and the Oreos, so he needs to buy himself an extra jar or another jar.
Well, she may sully both of them in.
Well, that's true. Well, now that
would be an asshole.
Yeah.
You better buy preparation age 2 to shrink that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'll tell you what kind of guy I am. If I was in this, when I learned that, I wouldn't
You're
even
the
go.
type of guy that gets suspicious. I'm the type of guy that says
it-
pudding is delicious.
Oreo.
Oreo. Oreos.
Thank you for that rap break we needed, Dad.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yes.
You're the type of guy to mow.
I'm the type of guy.
I'm the type of guy to
That
leave my
is a
drawers in your
classic.
butt.
I won't get her generic. I'm going to get her Vlasic because I would even go as far as to say I will get her the good stuff and not the generic. No spontaneous, by the way.
You're the type of guy to get her a gleekin.
Gleekin.
I'm the type of guy that
Joe Vaughn.
Joe Vaughn.
Joe,
Where you been, Joe?
Thought the PG-14.
Joe, what do you think, man? What do you think about you have a jar of pickles and Doreen is dumping her Oreos in the pickle jar.
Yeah, what
Just
about
floaters, just Oreo floaters in the pickle jar.
Gosh, man, I'm having such. Yes, that's making me dyspeptic even thinking about it. Ugh.
So about
Jeez.
you, what about you, April? What James was putting his Oreos in your pickle juice? 25 today, she says. 25.
You don't look a day over 24, April.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to put this comment, and this guy goes back to the previous one. John said once he got to double digits, his parents said, "Yapped up in public, I'll whip your ace." Right there, right now. That was about the wedding, 15-year-old
Yes, sir,
wedding.
John. How you doing, John?
Uh,
All right. So do we all agree that?
Oh, Joe.
Oh, Joe.
Joe, that is
Joe.
that is why Joe needs to give marriage advice, because that is it.
Yes, Joe. Joe loves whatever Doreen does, his wifey.
All right. So we all agree that she's not, or he's not the asshole at all.
Okay. Now we got a side thing going on here in the audience.
Uh-oh.
All right. April said, "I just tried the Oreo dipped in pickle juice. I don't hate it."
Okay.
By the way, how
Aric?
awesome is that? That shows the I don't know what the word I'm looking for. That the loyalty, the
Yes. The
willingness
attention
to step out and
the
take a
gumption
chance. Gumption.
for
yeah.
our audience.
Is there a way that you could could you send April a link so she can hop in
Well,
and we could
yeah.
watch her eat an Oreo dipped in pickle juice?
I could.
April, would you be willing to do that?
If April, well, I don't know if I can invite. If April gives me an email address, I can invite her in here, and we can all witness this here. Now,
I'm going to be honest with
James,
you.
James, her husband, said no way Oreos don't even belong in milk.
Oh,
I
James.
agree with that.
Man. Well, I would honestly, I don't have any Oreos here, but I would do that alongside April and dip an Oreo and pick them to try it.
Text me your email address, and then you can click a link if you so desire, and let us all witness you trying this Oreo. Two different types of Oreos dipped in pickle juice.
The closest I could come would be I would dip a Thin Mint in pickle juice. I have Thin Mints, but I don't have Oreos.
Petite mint.
No. Okay. Whoa. A Thin Mint would be worse. Mint and pickle juice.
See, I think that's going to trigger the same part of the tongue. The tongue's going to be confused anyway.
Well,
pickle and mint probably.
I see what
stir the
Eric's saying though, because you got the toothpaste aspect of that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where I was going.
It's like dipping orange cookies in pickle juice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for April to agree or disagree to eat, what is it, a pickle juice covered Oreo in front of literally tens of people.
I hit my funny bone.
I have another. Am I the asshole? The title of this one: Am I the asshole for peeing in my teacher's trash can after she wouldn't let me use the bathroom during class? Now, I thought this would hit home for us as we are all teachers. And Aric, you've obviously moved on to admin, but you were a teacher at one time. And you, Aric, you taught the high school level. Brady's taught the. Have you taught the high school level, Brady?
I'm currently teaching the high school
That's
level.
right. Yeah, you're teaching the high school level. I have not. So I don't see this happening at my grade level. But anyway, I, 17 male, have a very strict teacher named Mrs. Jones. I also have a weird bladder condition. Not exactly sure what it is because I haven't been to a doctor in 2 to 3 years, where my bladder seems to be a lot smaller as I constantly have to pee. Miss Jones doesn't really like me constantly having to get up during almost every class she has had to have to go pee. Today I was in class with her where I had once again asked if I could go pee, to which she responds no, and that I take too many bathroom breaks. I wait a few minutes for her to wrap up what she's doing and ask her again, which she once again says no. Since I don't want to ruin my clothes and I desperately needed to pee, I just decided to take a leak in her trash can. I got written up for this and my parents had to be called, and I've been grounded for doing this.
Okay. I don't know if you said. I'm assuming this is a male.
Yes.
Okay.
17 male. Here's what I want to know was when he was finished, did he look at her and say, Mind if I zip this up? To quote RoboCop.
Yes.
I would think such an action would cause suspension.
I think it almost would warrant expulsion because if you want to get real honest, he probably committed 2 felonies there.
Yes.
Gross sexual imposition, maybe 3, sexual battery, and indecent exposure.
And what if he was an 18-year-old senior? I mean, there you go. I mean,
He wasn't. He was 17.
Oh, he's 17.
I-
Okay.
He's only 17.
I'm going to get canceled. I say he's back in school within a day or two.
You think?
In 1980s, 1990s, 2000, early 2000s.
They would have taken him to the guillotine in
Big trouble.
1983.
Oh,
Now he'd be back in school by
they would
by
have cut
Tuesday.
something. They would have cut something off. Okay, now April's with us here.
Oh,
Hi guys.
on the pickle.
April.
I
April.
wasn't sure. I used some kosher dill. I don't know if that made a difference in your story, but dipping in dill pickles is not bad.
Really? Can we see it?
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
we need to witness.
so I tried chocolate and the golden, and they're both pretty good.
Oh my goodness.
Now, I'm going to throw it out there. The golden one with its golden floaters would be less noticeable than the dirty looking.
Goaters.
Yeah, the regular Oreo.
Oh, there she is. She's dipping, folks. For those of you listening at home.
It's being dipped.
And
Oh,
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah, I can tell by her face. She likes it.
Unlike
Nice.
mine, where I'm
It's
fighting
kinda
on my
like,
gag reflex.
It's like a sweet and sour combination. It's not bad.
Which is what his girlfriend in the story did say. She enjoys the sweet and sour and salty combination.
Yeah.
yes.
It's like I'm trying to think of what it almost tastes kind of like. Reminds me of a Sour Patch Kid, which I like Sour Patch Kids.
Oh.
And see, I don't like sour candy. So that, like, just
Yeah.
like the whole visual, but like I probably would not enjoy that. I don't like vinegar either. So like,
Oh,
you are a brave woman.
yeah, no, it's fine.
I've never seen Brady so uncomfortable and disgusted before. He was literally clenching his chest.
I'm just saying that's what keeps me young, I guess.
He was
Hey.
clutching his pearls.
I think there's a lesson here too that we took too much stock into textures and visuals rather than taste.
To reality. I mean, for Pete's sake, look at the Taco Bell menu. Look at what is on the menu, and then look what arrives in that wrapped piece of paper, and they are not the same. The visual, you know what I mean?
April, I'm
No.
going to try it now too. As soon as
An
I get some
Oreo?
Oreos.
An Oreo with mustard is good too. I saw that on TikTok. and tried it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Cut her off, Eric. Cut her off.
Let's see it.
Break out the condiments.
What do we got in the fridge? We got mustard, mayonnaise.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not that.
Horseradish.
I can't do mayonnaise. No, can't
There
do
is-
mayonnaise.
There is not a minimal enough measurement for Brady's sphincter right now. I can tell you. We should just have episodes where we have people join us and eat weird things out of their kitchen. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's the
Oh.
same taste. It's kind of like that sweet and sour combination.
Yeah.
You got any mayonnaise in that refrigerator?
I don't eat
Yeah.
mayonnaise.
Because Brady, I
yeah.
was going to say, because
Yeah,
Brady would have a
yeah.
hissy.
Do you know what my 7th level of hell would be? Is if somebody took dual stuff Oreos and they scooped out and they replaced it with mayonnaise with a little bit of
Yes.
firmness to it, and I pick it up and unbeknownst to me and I bite into that, you would probably have to call 911.
I think Miracle Whip in that Oreo would be pretty
Oh
decent.
yeah. Or
don't
sour's
know.
cream. James says
Spur
there's
cream.
some sour's
There you go. That was
cream.
proof, guys.
Thank you, April.
April, we love you for that. We need to send April a
Look at the-
t-shirt.
Look at the Oreo mouth there.
I know. Yeah. Bye.
Happy
Bye.
birthday, April.
Happy
Yay.
birthday. Oh.
How about that spur of the moment?
Yes. So, James, what was James' comment? Spur cream, or was it?
Well,
I think he might have misspelled
Spurry.
sour.
Oh,
There you go. Because I was
thank you,
wondering the
James.
same thing.
I
thought that
was thinking
something-
maybe spur cream was something you put on your spurs
Chicken
to keep
leg.
from.
Bone spurs.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of like if you have prize chickens, that it goes on their legs to keep their, hot spur from. I don't know. I went to a very biological answer.
I guess
All right,
you did.
we're
get out of the
50 minutes in.
classroom.
I'm done. I'm spent. I think it's time for Brady.
I-
But I do
I-
want to say, I am completely wholeheartedly on the teacher's side on this one. Now that doesn't mean that the teacher, but here's the thing. This kid is saying that he has a weird bladder. I mean, first off, that is not a medical diagnosis. I have a weird bladder. He
He's
hasn't been to
also
the doctor.
17.
He hasn't been to the but dude, I have fourth graders that know their diagnosis, like their
That's
medical
true.
diagnosis.
That's true.
That he hasn't been to the doctor in 3 years. That does not warrant me letting him go to the bathroom every time he has to go to the bathroom. I have no problem with students going to the bathroom, especially if I know there's a medical condition. I'll let them go 100 times a class period if they need to. But 3 years ago is not updated enough to just say, hey, I should be able to go to the bathroom whenever I want. And no matter what, it doesn't warrant him whipping it out and peeing in the trash can.
Yeah.
How
there's no-
desperate do you have to be? Because, like, I'm sorry, if I know somebody's 2 stalls over, I get a little bit of stage fright. But like to urinate in front of a whole class with Brady's limings out, I'm not. I don't think I would be able to pee if I needed to.
Stage fright. I can't even piss when someone is like in the stall next to me. If they sneak up on me, it's like.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have no stage fright.
All right.
That was a great segment.
Oh my God.
And see now, audience, you too can join the show on a moment's notice.
They're gonna start one-upping themselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat an Oreo dipped in the litter box. Watch me do this. It's gonna turn out to the whole gross out segment.
Can we have April be a
contributor?
Yeah, no, just a return guest that comes in every once in a while and eats odd things out of her kitchen. That will be awesome.
She may be up for that. April, if you're still out there, you up for that?
If we could get her the next month, and she's heard this since she's been married, but it names itself April Flowers brings May segments on Play by Ear.
There you go. Ooh, yeah. All right, visit our website. Nicely played. We'll have to play it by ear. She says.
She's one of us.
Yeah. Visit our website, playbyyourpodcast.com. If you would like to order a t-shirt, click the store link at the top of the page. That will take you to a picture of a t-shirt. Click on that. You will then go to buymeacoffee.com, which is our crowdsourcing website. You can buy yourself a t-shirt there. Softest t-shirt you ever owned.
Soft.
Like
a baby's bottom.
That's right.
Like a young alpaca.
Like a pickle soaked Oreo.
There you go. Very soft.
All
right, Brady.
All right. This is going to kind of play into like, oh man. So all the way back in episode 3, your esteemed host and our DJ and the rappers, all of us here, we tackled phobias and things that, our personal phobias. So we're not going back to the well, but this is very specific. I saw this on BuzzFeed and I got to crack it up laughing. And it is now, I'm probably not going to do all 31. Some of them get a little repetitive, but 31 bizarre childhood fears that will make you glad that you grew up. Now, we've all been children here, unless we were engineered in a lab someplace.
What do you mean, been?
Exactly. So, and here's the deal. We all can relate to having that irrational, stupid fear that just builds up in your head. And I have the feeling that you guys and the audience, when you hear these, will trigger some memories. It's like, yeah, I totally did that too. So not only are we going to get a few laughs out of this, you're not alone. we know that just because you're afraid of some of these things back in childhood does not make you weird, and you are not alone. It's pretty common. So let's start off with this one's pretty outrageous, but this person said, when I was younger, I thought that if I cut my hair short, that would leave me exposed and vampires would come and suck out all my blood because the lack of hair exposed my neck. And it was close to Halloween. And because she got her hair cut short, she thought that made her instant vampire fodder.
Bernice bobbed her hair.
Is that akin to not wanting to hang your foot over the bed in the middle of the night?
That's actually on the list.
You're afraid a chupacabra will come up and gnarl your toes off?
Yes.
That is one of the great words in all the dictionary. Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. So there's the mythical version and the real version.
I had not heard that about hair over the neck. I mean, I've never had my hair over my neck. So
Yeah.
I was afraid of a lot of different things as a Ute, but I never really got into the whole vampire fear thing.
No.
The scene from Salem's Lot.
Oh.
The window scene,
Oh yeah.
That is creepy. That's probably the creepiest of the vampire. I mean, otherwise, I thought vampires were pretty lame.
I mean, this plays into one of my irrational fears. When you said Salem's Lot, there were TV show commercials and trailers when they showed them on TV would make me flee the room. And Salem's Lot was one of them because that window scene where they float up in there, it scared the urine right out of me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm Team Jacob, for goodness sakes. I'm anti-vampire.
Volunteer.
Yep. All right. This next one. This person feared that an ant would crawl into her ear and establish a colony that would eat her brain.
Tied into the Twilight Zone episode of the earwig.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It crossed my mind a couple times. I remember one time in the pool, there was like a water bug and it was just poor timing that we intersected, and it kind of got near my ear hole, and all I could think about is what if that swam into my ear and like laid eggs. And
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how many, there's the whole thing that says like an average person eats what, like 7 spiders a year, something like that. But you don't hear how many people eat or how many bugs people eat with their ears throughout the year. I mean, imagine the bugs crawling our ears pretty frequently. You
Yeah.
know it.
You think?
Spiders. Oh yeah. I mean, spiders, I think a bug is trying to get out pretty quickly if it gets in.
Yeah, I don't think that they willingly go in there like, oh, there's an ear hole, I'm going to lay my eggs there. But I think there might be a wayward bug.
Where they just get in there and they give up, and they're like, well, this is as good a place as any, and they just dump their eggs.
They could.
Yeah.
I would have to think I would feel a bug in my ear.
If you were sound asleep, though.
Depends how sensitive your ear canals are.
Can you imagine the horror that you've fallen asleep, you didn't know it was there, you were sound asleep, and then one day you're looking in the mirror, shaving or brushing your teeth, and all of a sudden, like they crawl out of your ear.
How was that again? I just want to know what the sound of eggs marching down Brady's chin.
Yes. You got to do the hand motion too.
I have a weird bug egg thing anyway. I mean, it literally it's almost become like paralyzing at times when you guys remember when it was going around all the time on the internet. You would click on a page and a thing would pop up. It would show like some lady with like on her knee cap would be like, and would say like this lady's leg was infested with spider, and it would be like a circle with just it literally it gave me nightmares. It would make me gag. It would make me puke. It would never make me want to look at a naked knee again. I mean, I literally almost had to go to therapy over it. And come to find out, thankfully, it's fake. it's like a flower or something. It's some sort of flower
Yeah.
that people just thought, because people knew there were people like me out there, weak asses.
The
like me
imagination's
out there.
powerful.
Are you kidding? There's fake things on the internet.
I know it's hard to believe,
Oh.
but I'm going to be honest. I thought if there's one thing that would make me just not want to exist anymore, it would be having something like that on my leg or on my kneecap, a big round with, you've seen them, right? You know what I'm talking about? And it's just got a bunch of holes, and then you see these little things in the holes. That's a flower. And once I saw, here's the thing: once I learned that it was a flower, it only affected me slightly as much as it did before, or slightly less than it did before.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who knows that I get the willies and creeped out about stuff, gross stuff, she had no idea about this phobia I had this year. It was before she was even born, probably. And she comes up, it was about a week or two ago, and she comes up and shows me something. She's like, Dad, can you believe this lady got bitten by this spider, and shows this to me? And I had flashbacks, and it all started all over again.
And you're in a fetal position in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then I grounded her.
So worse than me sending you that video, the guy cleaned out his ears the other day.
I saw what it was, and I bailed out.
Oh.
So
faster than the French army, man.
So just to bring everyone else into the fold on this one, I don't know if everyone gets it on their Facebook feed, but I got it on my Facebook feed for some reason. There's this little gadget that, I don't know if it has a camera on the end of it. It must, but so you tie it into your cell phone by Bluetooth, and then it's like an ear cleaner. You go and clean out the wax and things in your ear, and it shows on this guy's ear.
Wax and things. What else? There should be nothing else in an ear.
Well,
and colonies.
One of those slides looked like dead skin. It was
hair.
Yeah. Oh,
well, I told you guys about the time. So I have a lot of, the thing that it gets to me is I have a lot of ear problems, and this is me sharing too much like I usually do, but it's kind of one of those deals where like the sight of your own blood doesn't bother you sometimes as much as other people's blood and that kind of thing. Yeah. I can have ear trauma and it doesn't bother me, but when other people have it, I don't want to witness it. But the very first time I ever had ear issues, I was bad for years about using Q-tips, and I know you're not supposed to do that, and I don't do it anymore. But I ended up in the ER, and I'm at urgent care, and I'm there for like 3 hours and just miserable. It feels like there's a tiny like fist in my ear. And so I get back there.
Test.
Yeah, I get back there, and it's a young doctor, and he's like, yeah, you got some some buildup in there. And he grabs this like hook, jams it in my head, like just into my ear. And I'm thinking, it's going to come out the other side. I'm like, I didn't realize there was a pathway. And he pulls, and the pressure of him pulling outward, I felt like my whole, like it was like a cartoon, like, and he pulls out what could best be described as a wad.
Tootsie Roll?
A Tootsie Roll. Not the small Tootsie Rolls, like the big Tootsie Rolls. That you know how
like
you give
dog
a kid
log sized Tootsie Roll.
You put one of those dog log sized Tootsie Rolls in, and then like a minute later, like I'm tired of this already. I'm already worn out. My jaws hurt. My teeth are shaking, and you spit it out. That's what it was. It was a giant mass of wax. I think it was 83% Q-tip cotton. And so I you would have thought I would have stopped there, but I did not stop using Q-tips. So I've probably been like 5 or 6 times recently, not recently, but since then I should say. But I've never had the hook like that guy. And in fact, I've had doctors tell me they're not supposed to use that method anymore. So this was this young doctor using an outdated method of hooking and pulling out
using a gaff hook to land that ear mackerel.
Well, there's a reason why he's in the urgent care.
Yeah, but I'm happy to say I stopped using Q-tips, and I probably haven't had an ear emergency in probably 3 years. So I'm doing well.
Bravo.
I feel a little bit queasy, man. All right. This one, and I'm embarrassed to admit, I have thought this before. So, swimming pools. It's like in a big water park. Well, anyway, we had a pool growing up, and my biggest fear was swimming in the deep end. And a plane would fly over and drop a crate that had a shark in it into the pool.
What?
He probably saw one of those Batman movies with a shark repellent, and he's afraid that a plane flew over his head while he was sleeping and dropped a shark into the pool.
I can't even suspend disbelief in my head enough to think that's a possibility.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you my angle from coming at this. So where we always went to, at St. Augustine, Florida, I was an early riser, and most days I was the first one in the pool. And there had been a storm the night before, and it blew one of the Chase lounge chairs into the pool. And I would not get in that because I thought maybe the storm blew a shark out of the water, and I couldn't see what it was, and it was lurking in the deep end, or it was an alligator. And I refused to get in until other people got there, and just, it was given the all clear.
And this is pre-Sharknado Day.
Yeah. This is Brady's imagination running away with him. So anyway,
I don't think you can get any more afraid of sharks than I am, and I've never.
Yeah, and just like I said, I literally let my imagination run away with me because I was by myself, and I couldn't get close enough to get a view of what that shadow was because it was a 12-foot deep end, and I'm like, and I just backed off.
Well,
I was more afraid of Baby Ruth bars in the swimming pool than sharks.
Yeah,
I mean the fact that I am largely non-aquatic, maybe that's part of the reason why I just never really had a fear like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of Baby Ruths in the pool, so my wife teaches swimming lessons.
Oh, no.
And she's supposed to do that yesterday, and she came home early. So, hey, I thought you were supposed to teach lessons. Someone pooped in the pool. So couldn't teach lessons.
Is she sure it wasn't an actual Baby Ruth though?
I don't know. I don't know. She witnessed the defecation or was just told of it.
You can't tell me that there's not people out there that just actually throw candy bars in pools just to wreak havoc.
Oh yeah, especially after Caddyshack. I would like to see the statistics of how many accidental pool closings there were because of the Caddyshack scene. So, but hey, on a side note, I may have told the story, maybe I didn't, but I worked at Claremont County YMCA, and I had younger kids. I worked during college, and but anyway, there was a group of like 12, 13, 14-year-olds. They were in a different group by themselves, but the one kid was really resentful because his parents were making him go to this, and he just wanted to stay home and hang out and sleep in. So he would conduct commerce in the pool during pool time daily until he got thrown out. Like he literally,
like just over and over again.
It took 3 times, 3 strikes, and he was out.
Like in the same day?
No, 3 days in a row.
So how much fiber is this kid eating?
Oh, I would say it was pretty planned because he had to A, get on a schedule, and B, probably had to, tailor his diet for maximum shock factor.
Or was he consuming X-Lax or something like that? Metamucil.
Yeah. Well, not to be gross, but that would be like a cloud. This was like definitely something floating, very visible, no chance of mistaking of what it was.
Did he admit to doing that?
Oh yeah, because he wanted thrown out. They obliged him.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but it took him 3 times to oblige him.
I think they finally busted him. It was kind of one of those things where he added a little bit of mystery, but he finally fessed up to it.
But as I understand it, when that happens, I mean, this is like a major aquatics event. I mean, it's not like we're just going to take the little net on the stick and fish it out and then go on about our business. I mean, this is like an hour's, half a day long. We're going to inject, chemicals in there to counteract what happened and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard stories of like people not crossing their legs at the water park, but they're going down the slide and they kind of give themselves an enema when they hit the splash pool and they stand up and havoc is wreaked and they have to shut down the splash pool.
Okay, Brady.
Yes.
I like Aric. I'm not a water person. I enjoy looking at water. I enjoy looking at the ocean. I enjoy the sounds of the ocean. I enjoy watching other people enjoy the ocean. I don't enjoy the ocean. I don't enjoy swimming pools.
Yeah.
Listening to people tell stories about their experiences at swimming pools makes me wonder about anyone actually enjoying swimming pools. There's nothing to enjoy, literally nothing to enjoy
I
unless
have
it's
to
your
not
own.
think about it.
Unless it's your own, and that's what I was getting ready to say. As many hangups as you have, I can't believe, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
No, I totally get where you're coming from.
Can't believe that you are such a dolphin. I can't believe that you are quite literally
Aquatic.
a man, a T. I just can't believe it. And also like it makes me so
Manatee.
he put the man in manatee. I don't understand because all of the things that people know is happening. Okay, so anybody that's probably been a lifeguard or they know it's happening. Imagine the 98% of things that you don't even know that's happening. That's going on in those waters. I'm going to deem it right now. I'm going to claim it. There is nothing positive about swimming in a swimming pool, folks. Nothing. You can cancel me all you want. I'm canceled. There's no, unless it's your own pool and you can gauge it somewhat. And you know, I mean, you can control it, I guess, somewhat and know who's in there and things like that. But otherwise, no.
Yeah,
I've already shared with you. You guys know my Brady shared his version of hell earlier. You know mine.
Yeah,
it's being trapped in the Starlight pool down at Coney for
with a half-eaten ice cream cone slung on the side of the.
First off, don't tell me you're going swimming. You're going standing. You're going standing in water, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, hip to hip with the next person that's standing in water. There's no swimming.
Yeah,
nobody's ever swam in the Starlight pool on a crowded summer day. People stand.
I've only swum at the Starlight pool twice, or Sunlight pool, or whatever it is.
Sunlight, yeah.
Sunlight. I apologize for calling it.
Yeah, it's okay. I had to think about it myself because I want to make sure we were talking about the same place because they're kind of close.
Starlight is the drive-in.
Yeah, that's true. Now that is good. That's entertaining.
Now, if you poop at the drive-in,
that's right. But and people could shut me down. I'm a big boy. I can take it if people disagree. But what is the benefit? What is the benefit of going to a pool that is so crowded that it literally you can't move hardly?
I'm with you there. I don't understand it.
That's not cool.
Don't tell me it's to cool off. I can think of 100 different ways to cool off that are more that are less dangerous, that are more fun, that are more sensible than that. But
right,
all right, I'm done.
This next one. I could see this happening to me, and you guys are both Todd. I really think you're gonna feel simpatico with this person. So this person says when they were 6, they accidentally saw a made-for-TV movie on USA Network in which a woman goes into labor and her organs spilled out of her, and this kid was terrified that they were going to be just walking down the street and their organs would fall out. Because they weren't young enough to process what was going on in the movie, and they just thought it was a common occurrence for somebody's organs to like fall out. I could see that. That would be a little bit traumatizing to see if you're a 6-year-old and can't understand what's going on.
Aric could be fine unless it was a spleen that fell out.
Indeed,
so he draws the line.
That's right.
So, Aric, what do you have to say about that? Is that something you could see getting squeamish about?
No, I can't say I've ever had a fear of that. I had a fear, and still do, I guess, of appendicitis. I don't want appendicitis. It's one of those ailments that are on my top ailments I don't want to have.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories about that. It does seem like it's pretty survivable. You know what I mean? But it does seem like it's never pleasant for
I
anyone.
embraced the appendix-free lifestyle 7 years ago. And, I mean, it wasn't a walk in the park, but I was expecting worse. It was pretty darn painful, though.
But did yours burst or whatever it is? Like
no, it was in pretty bad shape, though.
Yeah.
I guess
that's the danger, right? When it burst is when it's dangerous.
Like an Oreo in the pickle jar. Probably the same color.
So what was worse, Brady, the appendix or the gall's bladder?
I was in a lot more pain and discomfort. Like there's 3 different types of things that goes on with the gallbladder because there was the pain if you ate something that triggered it. And there was also the discomfort and inconvenience if you were having a gallbladder attack that you had 30 minutes after eating a heavy meal that you would have to find some place to conduct your commerce pretty quickly. And it led to some unfun events. But as far as pain goes, actually my gallbladder attacks, the kind that would double you over, and the appendix, they were very similar. But the good news is the appendix only happened once. But I lived with the gallbladder issue, from 12, 13 years old. I don't want to get in trouble for saying a name, but then Patricia Klump, her party between our 8th grade and 9th grade year was when I had my first gallbladder attack after consuming greasy chips and playing basketball. And when your mom picked us up from the party, I thought I was going to die all the way home.
Really? I don't remember that.
I've lived with that for many years. I've just unburdened my soul.
Wow.
My gallbladder surgery. I do remember the like trying to get up. Like once I got home, trying to get up was painful. Like you have to do the old push your pill into your gut, like to even stand. You know what I mean? You have to have something to counterweight.
You gotta hold your innards in.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Your Skinner's innards.
Good. Yeah.
And that was bad, but I think I've shared this before. So the doctor tells me, so I go to I have my gallbladder removed, and the doctor's like, yeah, there's a small chance, like whatever the percentage was, hardly anything, that you could have some issues of the gas or whatever that they feel you're collecting up into your shoulders.
Yeah. They had to inflate.
And if I didn't have that. And to this day, that is the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. You go from thinking you're dying. I mean, thinking of a heart attack, like you have the chest pain, the shoulder pain, and it would not subside. It would not go away. And oddly enough, I think my sister, I don't know if she listens or not, but my sister had the same thing. So I don't know if it's something like heredity, something about the Griffins where we just get it. But I think there's been a few people in my family have that. And I've talked to other people that had the surgery and said that nothing like that happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, it literally hit me like a ton of bricks. I wake up, oh my gosh, I'm dying. It was the most severe pain in my shoulder, chest.
I'm dying.
Yeah. And I guess it's that air, it's that gas or whatever they inflate you with. It goes out up to your shoulder and collects. It just hangs out.
Yeah, gas is meant to go out the other way. It's not meant to go in.
Yeah,
so it's going to cause
had that problem.
Yeah. So say something about you Griffins where you retain gas.
Yes, we're shy. We are.
All right. I'm going to do
dainty and shy.
Pure as a driven snow, you all. I'm going to do one more, and then it'll be time to move on. Okay, I can kind of go. This just cracked me up. So the little kid, when he was 5 years old, saw a PBS documentary about the Iceman that was frozen, the skeleton or the remains of an ancient,
Iceman.
Yeah, an Iceman. But it was it was pretty scary looking, and the kid had an irrational fear that every time he sat on the toilet, he was afraid the Iceman was going to come out of the toilet and get him.
The Iceman cometh.
Yes.
Snakes coming out of the toilet? Yes, I can see. I just watched a video last night where they pulled a 12-foot damn python out of somebody's toilet. I mean, that I could see being fearful of, but the Iceman? Yeah. I mean,
that's just silly.
The snakes are real. That really happens. I mean, it's
Why did he conflate the Iceman with the toilet?
I think it just scared him, and he was probably afraid. And it's been said psychologists say that you feel you're most vulnerable when you're conducting commerce, and it probably just feeds into that. It was probably a vulnerability. Where can he get him when he's most vulnerable? When he's relieving himself.
So repeat that again. People are most vulnerable when they're collecting commerce.
Conducting they said it's kind of like, well, I mean, I read a research thing on it. Good God, I don't know how I ended up there, but I did. And anyway, it was one of those things about your pets. Why does your dog always look over their shoulder at you while they're pooping? They do that thing where they, assume the dog position, and if you're behind them, they go because they're in a vulnerable, prone position.
But
And it's
yet
just
they
part of
have
our
no
biology.
shame. They have no shame. I've always said this.
I don't
You
say
could
no
march-
shame.
You could march a dog in the
anxiety.
middle of the Super Bowl stadium, and it would go out in the middle of that stadium and take a shit and would not even think twice about it. It would not look. It would not.
It would leave one.
Yeah,
On
it
the
would lock
helmet.
eyes. It'd lock eyes with both team captains and not even care.
Well, and the reason it's locking eyes is because it's that animal instinct, because they know if they're in the middle of conducting their, if if Fido is making a lawn cigar out there, he's in a prone position, and back in the before dogs were domesticated, that's when prey would chase them, and if they're trying to like pinch one off, they can't run.
So if you were trying to eat a dog, if you were the predator, you would be that patient to wait until they had to conduct commerce.
Well, if they're stalking them. So
Yeah.
once again, when they're out in the middle, and that's just it. It's just like there's like, okay, I got to stand here. I can't fight or flight. So
See, that makes total
Yeah.
sense to me. Total sense.
Yes.
and we're
It would be hard-
mammals.
Plus, it's hard to put up your best fight prairie dogging. I mean, it's.
So okay, I gotta say it.
But I would think
Do
sleeping.
you think
would be
there's
the
ever
most-
been a prairie dog that's prairie dogged?
They call it something different, like horse heading or something like that.
Yeah. That prairie dog's got a turtle head up
They
poking.
call it catfish whiskering or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. That was pretty thought provoking.
So
that was a deep.
I'm not done thinking about that though. So so repeat what you said about the fear part of that, the phobia part.
Which part? Oh,
Be-
it's hardwired into us, fight or flight instincts, because when we're doing that, we can't
Oh, yeah.
run.
Yeah. So
And we
that's
can't
why.
fight because we're,
But
and
don't
that's
you?
why the dog's like,
But don't you think that stems from also people actually being fearful of things coming up out of their toilet, like snakes and
Oh,
rats?
well, it's
And-
intertwined because our predators, we're not in the middle of the Serengeti. The things that can catch us is when we're sitting on the toilet. What's going to come?
It's
up?
true.
A snake.
And I'm scared to death of snakes anyway. But the last place I would want to be bitten by a snake is in the prune.
Is on
I don't
Todd's
want
Griffins.
to. I mean, but this Iceman, that seems odd to me. That seems
Yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, I can't.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't
afraid
even
of
think the Iceman.
Or coming up and biting my ass while I'm using the
Let-
bathroom.
Let's go back to 1946
Top
or
Gun joke.
whatever when Frankenstein came out or the Wolfman and kids were terrified. Instead of the Iceman, I bet they thought Frankenstein or the Wolfman would come out of the toilet and get it because that's when they're most vulnerable, is what I'm saying.
Even though Frankenstein nor the Wolfman ever attacked via toilet.
No.
There's never any proof of that.
Yes.
No proof. Jimmy Hoff, I'm just saying.
Jimmy.
I wouldn't think wolves would like water, so I think you're pretty safe
Mm.
there.
That was a very logical argument, man. I can't argue with that.
But Frankenstein's,
Yeah, all bets are off. Then.
Now, see, what I'd be afraid of coming out would be a moray eel. Those things look mean and they got teeth. It's like, oh man, I could just see one of those coming out of the craggy depths
Nah,
of the commode.
a lamprey. A lamprey.
Oh, a
we
hagfish.
have an eel disagreement here, gentlemen. What do you? So Aric goes with the lampy. Brady's going with the what'd you say? The
The moray eel.
moray.
Because a lamprey is like a tube with teeth.
You don't want a tube with teeth anywhere near that area.
No, and it could slither right up a toilet hole.
Well, and see, that's the thing about a snake. I don't think a snake, when it's slithering out of a hole, is trying to hurt your hole.
When you go feel the pump while you are trying to dump, that's a moray.
Moray eel. But just a snake trying to escape that way. I mean, it has nowhere to go. You're blocking its exit.
I guess it could crawl up another hole. I don't know.
Wow. On that note, I think we can put a foot. Well, we can stick an eel in it.
Yeah. All right. Once again, visit our website, playitbyyourpodcast.com. Look up our isms. You can look at our definitions of these little terms we use. Savannah says a family friend tried to convince me there were alligators and pythons in the sewers of Sardinia when I was a kid.
Oh, there were.
There were.
Savannah, I don't know how old you are, Savannah, and you don't have to tell us. But when I was a kid, there was a movie about a family that had like a pet alligator, like a baby alligator, and it got too big and they flushed it. They flushed it in the toilet and it wreaked havoc in the sewer systems in the cities. And I, I've had a hard time finding that movie, much like I told you guys last episode about the movie where the guy trying to kill Peter Weller trying to kill the giant rat.
Yeah.
I remember this movie when I was a kid of this alligator getting flushed down the toilet and then grew up to be big and strong down in the sewer systems and wreaked havoc. I don't know what it was called.
I'll put your mind at ease, Savannah. When I taught 5th grade science, one of my passion units was non-native invasive species. And I tell the kids this: if somebody let a python or an alligator loose in Sardinia, it might survive from May to October, but because they're cold-blooded, the first freeze, they're going to be toast. Or frozen, I should say.
Well, there you go. But don't they unfreeze when it thaws back out?
No. There's some lower level vertebrates and invertebrates that could do that, but not a python or a gator.
All right.
You don't think they would adapt?
Yeah. They would adapt to those Sardinia sewers.
Sewers. That'd be a good
We all
minor
did.
league baseball name, the Sardinia Sewers.
So Savannah, I guess she doesn't mind sharing because she shared that she's 37. So you're a little younger. So you might not remember the movie, but if anybody out there listening, whether they're listening to the live Facebook or YouTube's, or you're listening to this after the fact, I would like to know the name of that movie. I know I watched it when I was a kid. Again, a family gets like a baby alligator. They flush it down the toilet, and it grows up in the sewers, and then eventually is not happy and wreaks some havoc. So,
Not to be confused with Chud, the cannibalistic humanoids under Detroit.
I wouldn't be happy if someone flushed me down the toilet either. So
while we're waiting, I'm going to look it up. Movie about alligator. Here it is. Wow.
Just that quick.
Yes, the movie was called Alligator.
Wow.
Inventive.
1980.
Yeah.
American independent horror film. Let's see. Set in Chicago, the film follows a police officer and a reptile expert who track an enormous, ravenous, man-eating alligator flushed down the toilet years earlier that is attacking residents after escaping from the city's sewers.
Sewers.
Starring Robert Forster. Yeah.
All I'm
A
gonna
ravenous
say,
alligator.
it better be the summer or I'm calling pox on there.
There was the film received praise from critics for its intentional satirizing of genre cliches. A direct-to-video sequel was released in 1991 entitled Alligator 2: The Mutation. Oddly enough, they didn't go with Alligator 2: Electric Boogaloo.
Alligator 2 Reptilian Boogaloo.
Despite the title, Alligator 2 shared no characters or actors with the original. A tabletop game based on Alligator was distributed by the Ideal Toy Company in 1980. So was it like Hungry Hungry Hippos, but it was Hungry Hungry Gator?
Well, no, all I can imagine, you're rolling the dice. He rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're in the sewer. Then you had to roll another dice to just spin the wheel to see if you get it.
No. That would be if you rolled a 2, you'd be in the sewer.
See, I think it was like Hungry Hungry Hippo, except it was alligators, and instead of eating marbles, they're eating like frozen chickens.
I was just going to throw a bunch of Tootsie Rolls on there. But
all right, gentlemen. Game of the evening is Geared Sharks.
Geared Sharks.
All right, so like the classic game show, get that sucker out. The juice box has appeared. All right, so each of you have 7 cards, and the object is to get to the end of your 7 cards before your opponent. And you'll be asked questions which call for a percentage. And one of you will answer, the other will give a higher or lower answer. And the one who's correct will get to play the cards.
Brady knows what I'm going to say.
I know what you're gonna ask.
Gosh, we've been together too long. Is the Kyle King rule in effect?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
We don't remember what it is, what
Yeah.
game we use it, but it's in effect in
but,
every
but it's
game.
in effect, yes. All right. We do lots backstage. Todd, you will get the first question. All right, Todd, we asked 100 drivers, have you ever been the cause of a traffic jam? How many of those drivers said yes?
Am I going so I'm going percentage here, right?
We asked 100 drivers.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's relatively low because I think a lot of people that cause traffic jams have no clue they're causing a traffic jam.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 14.
Okay, so you're saying there's only 14 because more of them don't realize they've done that?
Well, because I think it's higher people that have, but I think you ask them. So like I think
So they're cognizant of the fact that they have caused a traffic jam.
correct. Yes.
Yes. All right. Brady, Todd says 14, higher
Dude.
or lower than 14.
Your number is where I would have ended up, but I'm gonna go I'm gonna go higher, but just a little bit.
All right. We asked 100 drivers, have you ever been the cause of a traffic jam? How many said yes? The number is 31. 31. All right, Brady, you're playing the blue cards. Your base card is a king.
So now what I have to do is decide if the next card is higher or lower.
You have to decide the next card is higher
In
or
all
lower.
in all seriousness, what is the Kyle King rule? Isn't it on our isms page?
It could
I
be.
don't remember, honestly.
Okay.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
But I will say that Garrett is going to be lower.
All right. Lower
Lower,
than a
Bob.
king. Lower than a king, a 7.
You better
Like
hold.
to take a play or freeze.
I shall be frozen.
Poison. Freeze that card. All right, Brady, the question is yours. We asked 100 homeowners, do you plan on living in your current house for the rest of your life? How many of those homeowners said yes?
If you would have asked this question back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I think it'd be pretty high. But HG Network has got everybody thinking they could flip that house. I am going to say, okay, so I kind of got off track. So the amount of people who say yes are going to be there for the rest of their lives?
Yes.
I say 35%, Bob.
35 out of 100 say yes, they would live in their current home for the rest of their life. Todd, higher or lower than 35?
So I'm having a little trouble with understanding the word wood. So, and I mean that in all
definition of
seriousness.
wood.
Well, like so let me phrase it both
Well,
ways.
Well, the word wood is not in the question.
I thought read the question again, please.
We asked 100 homeowners, do you plan on living in your current house for the rest of your life? How many said yes?
Okay. Well, when you reread it, when you read Brady's answer, you said that they would live in the house, and I was thinking, if you asked me if I would live in it, that's different than asking me if I will live in it. You know what I mean? That was confusing me. So I know the question now.
Yeah.
Brady said 37. Is that what you said?
35.
35.
35.
You're getting mixed up with clerks.
I'm going to go a little higher, Bab.
A little higher. We asked 100 homeowners, do you plan on living in your current house for the rest of your life? How many said yes? The number is 67.
Ooh.
67, higher than 35. Todd, your base card is a 7. Would you like to play that card or change it?
Change that card, Bob.
Change that.
I didn't know you could change it.
Well, you
We're
could.
changing that card to a jack. You must play a
We're
jack.
going lower, Bob. Lower.
Lower than a jack. A 10.
Yeah.
Barely lower.
It's
Would you like to
lower.
play or freeze?
10 is lower than a yak.
That's right. Size doesn't matter, boys. It's tough. Freeze me there, Bob.
All right. Poison. Todd. We asked 100 mail carriers, do you judge people based on what you deliver to them? How many said they did?
Well, the question here is whether they lied or not. If they were being honest, 100%. I'm still going to say it's pretty high. I'm going to say 68. 68. 68 judges people by what they deliver to them.
All right, Brady. Higher or lower than 68?
I'm going against my gut. I'm playing numbers here. I'm going to say lower, Bob.
Lower. We asked 100 mail carriers, do you judge people based upon what you deliver to them? How many said they did? That number is 35. It is lower than 68.
Liars, they are.
Liars. They are liars.
All right, Brady, you have a 7. Would you like to play the 7 or change it?
I would like to change that, Bob.
All right. Changing that card to an ace.
What are you eating, Brady?
Cookie M&Ms. I did that for the dramatic effect. I went.
Nice. It's a nice singe there on the back.
You know what? I have a career in voiceover cartoon work. Listen to this. The tree's getting ready to fall on the bear in the woods.
What the hell? Why is that a bear? Why does it have such brittle bones? Now, if that were a snail, I would get it.
All right. That's just that's the timber falling. We have way too much fun on this show. Carry on.
All right. Well, higher or lower than an ace?
Can I ask a stupid question? What's the interpretation of an ace in this game?
You dumb ace.
The ace is the highest card in this game.
Okay, lower,
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah, I just want
Queen.
to. Ooh.
Lower, Bob.
Lower than a
Man.
queen. A jack.
Oh, are you crapping me?
I am not.
Lower. One more.
Lower than
We
a
need
jack.
the king rule quickly.
A 10.
You're
Freeze.
Eric. You didn't shuffle that deck.
I did shuffle the deck.
We go queen, jack, 10.
Yes.
If the next was a 9, you're fired, Bob.
All right, Brady. Higher or lower than 10, or would you like to freeze?
Freeze.
Freeze. Poison. All right. All right, Todd.
Change my card, please.
You can't change your card yet. You got to win the question.
Oh,
Yeah, Todd.
All right, Todd. We asked 100 married women, would you leave your spouse to be the star of The Bachelorette? How many said they would?
you know, again, it's how many of them are honest? Because I think most of them would.
Leave them or frolic with them. That's what I'm wanting to know.
Well, there's nothing that says
would you-
once they've
would-
been leaved, they have to stay leaved.
Leaved.
They stay left.
You know, I'm going to play the numbers here as well. I'm going to say 50%.
Oh gosh, man! You're the guy that says $1 on the right Price is right there.
All right, Brady. Higher or lower than 50?
Us men are base creatures motivated by by the outward appearance.
We men.
Women, women, although they look at the eye candy and they would consider it, but I don't think they would leave their family and their spouse. I'm going to say it's lower.
All right, lower than 50. We asked 100 married women, would you leave your spouse to be the star of The Bachelorette? How many said they would? That number is 3.
You.
Oh,
There's no, come on. What are they all mailmen?
All right, Brady. Your base card is a 10.
I would like to change that card, Eric. Excuse me, Bob.
Bab. All right,
Here comes another.
changing the card to a 5.
A 5. Higher, Bob.
Higher. An ace.
Oh, am I in the Baron yet?
Yes, you're in the Baron.
What time is it?
Change the card.
Change card. So I'll say, well, there's a lot of thought going on here,
Lower, Eric.
and I'm not sure why. 9.
There we go.
Brady wins game 1. We're playing best of 3, by the way.
Nice.
All
Oh,
right.
okay. Sorry.
Shuffle that deck.
Oh, Brad.
Knick knack paddywhack, you still gotta shuffle the deck.
Joseph.
Joey, do you believe for a minute that out of 100 women surveyed, only 3 of them said they would leave their spouse to go on the Bachelorette?
Excuse me.
And if you believe that, do you believe that only, what was it, of mailmen?
35.
35% of mail carriers judge people based on what they delivered to them.
Yeah.
I bet Joey
By the
sides with
way,
me.
watch Square Table Degenerates STD on YouTube. Very good podcast, very funny. Guys are from Cleveland, but we don't hold that against them.
I was going to promote the show, but he's disagreeing with me, so now I'm going to say no.
Joey is a relationship whisperer. He knows the facts.
Yes, but here's what I'm a word guy, and leaving your spouse does not mean staying gone.
Oh,
Right. Now he's redeemed himself. What now?
He has the lead singer for Men Without Hats live Monday on STD.
Get out.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Pop
Hey, Joe,
Goes the World.
Yep.
Is my favorite Men Without Hats song.
We will promote that, Joey. I'm going to promote that on my personal page too. So very cool.
He would say yes to the mailman as well. So those numbers do not surprise him.
Well, again, I think it's just in the word leave. I think they would leave them temporarily and come back to
Now,
them.
I would have changed my answer if they would have said make whoopee with
Make whoopee.
the bachelorette person or the bachelor person, sorry. But leave their family, that's a big,
Ivan Dorshuk. Yes, the lead singer of Men Without Hats. I believe his daughter plays with them now, doesn't he? Or doesn't she?
She's dancing around the maypole now with a little person.
I think she plays keyboards and sings backup. Backup.
John Brown.
All right, little known fact, because there are so many disabled vets now, most mail carriers are most likely vets.
Wow.
Interesting.
John says we sent you guys a video. Yeah, Savannah mentioned that earlier. We'll have to look that up. I totally missed it. But we'll look at that. We'll put it on if you like. See what it is.
Are you eating Oreos out of a pickle jar?
Oreos. Oh yeah, there you go. All right, round 2. Brady's up 1-0. Brady,
See.
you have the first question in this round. Let me scoreboard right here. 1-0. All right, Brady.
Yes.
We asked 100 farmers in Iowa. Was your father also a farmer? How many farmers said yes?
75%.
Without hesitation, says 75. Todd, higher or lower than 75?
Can you read the question again?
We asked 100 farmers in Iowa. Was your father also a farmer? How many of those farmers said yes?
Higher.
Higher. All right. Asked 100 farmers in Iowa. Was your father also a farmer? How many farmers said yes? 95
Ooh.
said yes. Todd, your base card is a queen. Todd says lower than a queen. A 3. Higher than a 3.
Oh!
What is it? What is it? I can't see it. Spin it. Oh, your ass.
Your news. Playing with a 2 of hearts. It really
All right.
stinks like a fart.
Brady, that gives you a free play. You got to
Yeah.
play. You got to play the 3.
Hiya, Bob.
Higher than the 3.
Oh, with it, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Bovine excrement.
We need the Kyle King rule quickly.
If you knew what the Kyle King rule was. All right, so both
what happens?
Both decks reset. Back to 0.
I've never finished my sucker before the game ended.
Yeah. Now we're to Brady.
Yeah.
That's me.
He's right.
Yeah. Okay, Todd. We asked 100 homeowners, do you think your house is haunted? How many homeowners said yes? They believe their house is haunted.
This is going to be relatively low, Bob. I'm going to say 4. I went way too low there. 4. Yeah.
4. Brady, higher or lower than 4?
I'm only playing the numbers. I think that's close. I'm going to say higher slightly.
We asked 100 homeowners, do you think your house is haunted? How many said yes? 12 said yes. So yes, you did go a little low there. All right, Brady, your new base card is a 10.
Lower.
Lawyer. 9. I swear I shuffled. I swear I
Lower.
shuffled. Lower. A 7.
Freeze.
Freeze. All right, Brady. We asked 100 massage therapists. If someone falls asleep on the table, do you take a break and still charge them? How many said they would take a break and still charge them?
5%.
5.
What a dumb question.
Yeah.
Todd?
Now, if it said, we asked 100 massage therapists, have you ever seen a spider crawl out of a man's belly button? I know at least one that would say yes.
Or has anyone ever passed gas on your table?
I've had some embarrassing experiences on the table before.
We're just giggling like Beavis and Butthead right now. It's cracking me up.
I think these kind of questions hit different if you know a massage therapist or you know someone who used to be a massage therapist. I'm gonna go higher. Just a numbers game. I mean,
Higher.
he said
All
5,
right.
right? He said 5%.
He said 5.
Okay.
We asked 100 massage therapists, if someone falls asleep on the table, do you take a break and still charge them? How many said they would take a break and still charge them? That number is 18. It is higher than 5.
That's kind of unethical.
Yeah. They're answering in anonymity.
See, they're being more honest than the mail carriers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Todd, your new base card is a deuce.
Yeah.
Send it up, Bob. Send it up.
He says higher.
Hoist it.
It's a 5.
Barely. I'm going higher, Bob. I got to play the game to win it.
Higher. It's an ace.
Oh.
Yes, go lower, Bab.
Lower. A king.
Oh, lower, Bob.
Lower. An 8.
He's sitting on a biscuit. He's on a roll.
I don't know if people enjoy this or not, but we're having a hell of a lot of fun.
I know.
Pause. Freeze.
I'm frozen.
I'll be honest with you. I could do this without the podcast. Just play Card Sharks all the time. That would be hilarious.
All right. Welcome, Gary. Gary
Hey,
said
Gary.
he had safety dance for the father-daughter dance back in 2020 with wedding just barely working in amid a downturn in COVID.
Mhm.
Nice. Good choice on the father-daughter dance. All right. So where are we? Brady?
Yeah.
We we asked 100 nurses. In your experience, are men bigger chickens when it comes to needles? How many said that men are the bigger chickens when it comes to needles?
75%.
75. Todd, higher or lower than 75?
I know what they want us to say.
I feel like we're being baited.
I do too. But I've been canceled 3 times already tonight.
So you might as well be canceled.
I might as well be canceled again. I'm going to say lower. We're men. We're men, right, guys?
We're men in
Lawyer.
I just had a sucker, for goodness sakes. I'm a man.
Now
All
you're
right.
a male. Man.
Is it the way he fights every day?
Yeah.
All right. We asked 100 nurses. In your experience, are men the bigger chickens when it comes to needles? The number is 87. So it is not lower.
Crap.
All right, Brady.
Pull
You're
up Joey's response, if you don't mind, Aric.
Joey says, these nurses are all full of crap. Most men are not afraid of needles. This question is hogwash.
Right. I mean, I am personally afraid of needles, but I can't imagine all you other men out there are afraid of needles.
Yeah,
Right.
Aric. He loves how the score has been updated.
Joey, we're playing games here, not by
Yeah.
the question. So
Oh, yeah.
Hard
Don't try to call Fiscus out. He's a gamesmith.
that's right.
He's on
I'm
top
very
of it.
serious about my emceeing of the game.
He has a master's in gamesmithery.
Yes, I do. All right, Brady, your base card currently is a 7. Would you like to play that or change it?
I would like another card, Bob.
Your new base card is an 8. You got to play it.
Jeez, Joe Jehoshaphat. I'm gonna go lower, Bob.
Lawyer.
Steaming goat pee.
All right. Well, fortunately, you only lose that one card. Todd, you get a free play. You have to play. You have to play the 8.
Oh, shit. Shoot. Sorry, I think we've met our TV 14 mark. I got to play the 8?
You got to play the 8.
I'm going lower.
Lawyer than the 8. 9.
You just picked up the same card as you did before.
It was a red one. The other
I
one.
know.
I get to shout
I
9.
know. I would never doubt Eric's gamesmithery, but I
will put up. Joey says if he ever started a game show, I would be the first person he'd hire either as host or top consultant. I'm the Kobe Bryant of game show knowledge.
just stay out of helicopters.
Right.
Too soon? I mean,
Too soon.
Too
You've been
soon.
canceled for the 5th time.
gosh.
My voice is butter pecan ice cream.
Let's say it's
but
for ice
nuts.
cream.
Ha ha.
Smooth nuts. Wasn't that somebody's name at one of Doug's parties one time? Smooth nuts.
No, it's Smithsack.
Oh, I was MC Nuts, and back, remember that? And people were calling me McNuts because Doug wrote the MC 2 clips together. It should have been M period C period nuts.
You are the Mc. You are, you are the McNuts.
No, it's MC nuts.
So
Somebody needs to teach Doug about abbreviation. You always put the periods in the abbreviations.
So
What is it?
At
Was
least-
his,
at least-
was his teacher Merr Snyder?
his teacher was not Merr Snyder.
That's right up there with Big Nuts is right up there with Wesley Snipester
Guy Pester.
instead of Snipester. Oh gosh.
Gary says he's been on here 4 minutes and has seen 5 9.
For those of you playing along, our friend Doug had a get together and we had name tags. And I named myself MC Nuts, like a rapper, and he didn't put the periods after the M and after the C, so everybody called me McNuts all night. Like the worst McDonald's meal.
Excuse me. Can I have a large sweet tea and the Big Nuts, please? That's what Ronald McDonald gets kicked in when he sponsored them soccer games.
I'd like the strawberry sundae with McNuts, please.
McNuts, you just get 2 lonely cashews in a sack. Oh.
Oh, Andy.
Oh.
All right. I don't even know whose question it is right here.
It ain't gonna get any better than that, guys.
Todd, I believe it's your question.
I think it. Well, I had the free
you had
card.
to play. Well, you had to play the 8, so you
Yeah.
you stole there. So all right,
Yeah.
Todd. We asked 100 office workers. Have you ever taken a roll of toilet paper home from work? How many said they had?
Oh man, I'm just going to say if you're working in an office, you most likely can afford toilet paper. So I don't really know what you would need to take it home for,
Well, let me.
except
Like-
during COVID.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you're probably not
But-
in the office during
Exactly. So I mean, I know if you work in an office, that paperwork is a part of your everyday. So I'm going to say pretty low here, Bob. I'm going to say 28.
28. Brady, higher or lower than 28?
I'm going to say lower because I'm just going to judge it from my place of employment over the last 20 years, where you basically need the Ocean's 11 crew to crack into that toilet paper roll dispenser because it's, it's difficult. So I'm going to say lower.
All right. We asked 100 office workers, have you ever taken a roll of toilet paper home from work? How many said they had? The number is 30, not lower than 28. So, Todd, your base card is an 8. Would you like to play the 8 or change that card?
I think I just realized what the Kyle King rule was. Wasn't it if you get it right on the dot, you get something extra or something like that? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't remember.
yeah, I was close there.
All right. Play the 8 or change the card.
Change the card. Joey's talking about federal buildings.
He says, we got those giant mega rolls and I work in the federal building, so that's a no for me. I'm a proud office worker.
Yeah, Joey, those rolls, where would you hide them?
And then he says, what kind of hood offices are these people working at? All right. Your new base card, Todd, is a 10.
Lower.
Lawyer than a 10. Jack.
It's the yak of
And
spades.
again, it's 1 card off.
Mhm.
Man.
All right. Brady, you get a free play. You got to play the 8. You got to play
I
the
got
8.
lower, Bob.
Lower than the 8. And king. All right. Brady,
See?
we asked 100 people, have you ever been woken up in a movie theater because you were snoring? How many said they had?
Repeat that one
That.
That's what,
We got
it's made set off the chime there.
yeah, bang a gong.
Get it on. Repeat that one more time. Sorry, I got distracted by whatever I
The
did.
Dark Cauldron.
Yeah.
We asked 100 people, have you ever been woken up in a movie theater because you had been snoring? How many said they had?
7%.
7. Todd, higher or lower than 7?
Well, I got to play the numbers and go higher.
Higher. Once again, we asked 100 people, have you ever been woken up in a movie because you were snoring? How many said they had? The number is 10, slightly higher than 7.
Now,
if they would have said a Meryl Streep movie, it'd be like 80.
It was funny, but all of the near F-bombs we've had on this show have been Brady, if you ever noticed that. Remember the one we swore up and down he slipped and it turned out it wasn't, but
oh.
So Joey says, by my own snoring, maybe.
There you go.
There you go.
So my dad, I took my mom and dad last summer to see the Elvis movie, which I love, by the way. I saw it 4 times in the theater. And my dad I had to wake him up. He was snoring during it. I'm like, Dad, how do you snore during the Elvis movie? I mean, it's exciting.
He's nothing but a hound dog, man.
Crying all the time. All right, Todd, your base card's a 10.
Oh, man. Can I change it?
You can change it.
Change it.
Taking a chance. Changing it
used
to
be a safe card.
A 4.
Raise the roof. Raise the roof, Bob.
Raise the roof. A 5.
Raise the roof, Bob. Keep it going.
Yes. 6.
Are you 1 card away, Joey?
All right, but you're still.
Eric Reed wants a dealer at Hard Rock Casino. This is the crap that they pull there.
All right, Brady, you got a free
I'm
play. You got to play the 8.
I am going to play the number. I'm going to go lower, please.
Lower than the 8.
Oh, holy.
We're the worst card sharks ever.
We're
All
card
right, Brady.
guppies.
I think this one's mine.
Or Todd.
Yep.
Yes. We asked 130 somethings. Are you afraid of the dark? How many said they are afraid of the dark?
Well, I think it depends on what you mean by afraid. I think if you go by, were they afraid when they were younger, and are there still some is there still some apprehensiveness? If I can just make up a word, I'm not sure if that's even a word. I'm going to say it's higher than what we think. I'm going to say 45.
I believe apprehension would be the word.
Apprehension, yeah. I like apprehensiveness better. I prefer my suffixes.
All right, you said what?
45.
45.
I'm going to go lower.
All right, Brady immediately says lower.
I know what happens when one hesitates.
We asked 130 somethings. Are you afraid of the dark? How many said they are? The number is 23. It is lower than 45. Brady, 8 is your base card. Would you like to change it or play it?
Change it, please. Watch it be a 9.
Change that card, Bob.
Number is a 2.
Higher.
Higher. 4.
Higher.
Higher. 8.
Stick it.
Am I in the Baron?
No, you're 2 away.
There's no Baron. You're just wandering around a field.
I'm going to live
dodging
a little.
cow patties.
He's going to live a little.
Lower, Bab.
Lawyer. 6.
Higher, Robert.
Jack.
Yeah.
What a run. And Brady.
That's as good as run as free day at the Indian buffet.
The He's got his Cabbage Patch Pit. Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kid syrup there.
Cabbage Patch Pit. I like that. Where the unruly Cabbage Patch are banished to.
All right. So our best of 3, Brady wins.
Oh, Brady won?
Yeah. Best of 3. 2 games
bogus.
to nothing.
No, I didn't know that game was over.
Yep. And that was it.
Malarkey.
Quite a run there at the end, building off the 8. And playing an 8 in the middle.
That was luck. Those crazy 8s.
Well, it usually is luck.
Well, actually, you could play the cards and know there were no 9s, 10s, or we went through so many of those, you knew what was coming up.
I mean, I didn't go all Rain Man, but I kind of played the odds a little bit.
Rainman.
All right.
So would Raymond be portrayed by Dustin Hoffman?
No, it'd be Hoffman.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
All
it is.
right.
I guess his name is Hoffman. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I see
you
what
see
you
what I
did
did
there.
there?
There you go. There you go. All right. So that rounds out episode 129 of the Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks to all for joining us. Now the room's starting to fill up. It seems like we should keep going. But
Best out of 12.
that's how 12. Yeah.
I believe this is instant classic status on this episode. It just might be me.
All right. So as always, our audio podcast will come out on Friday morning at 3 a.m. Those are the different outlets you can find it at. Anchor. Actually, it's called Spotify Podcast now. They changed the Anchor name. Spotify, you can find audio and video on for our podcast. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app. And most anywhere you find audio podcast, video-wise. Like I said, Spotify is one. YouTube, we have our YouTube channel. Search Play It By Ear Podcast. Also follow our Twitch channel, Play It By Ear Podcast there as well.
Twitch.
And of course, video archived here on Facebook as well. Social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagrams. You can find all those links on our website, playitbyearpodcast.com. Interact via email with us, admin@playitbyearpodcast.com. To leave a voice message, click the link at your audio podcast provider. If that podcast provider is iHeartRadio on the app, there's a microphone that says talk back. That's how you would leave the voice message. And I was told that the Browns left us a video that we'll have to look at, and they gave us permission to play that if we so desire. All right.
There we go.
Yeah. Monday, 1 p.m. for STD. If you can be there for the Ivan interview from Men Without Hats. If
We'll have to catch. I have to catch it afterwards.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Joey, I'm assuming that is, I'm pretty sure the answer to this, but I'm sure that's archived on your YouTube channel as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but can't be here Monday at 1 for the live version. I'm sure you can see it in archive version on their YouTube page. But yeah, check that out, especially if you're a fan of new wave, early 80s music. Men Without Hats,
Which we
outstanding.
are.
And who isn't?
Exactly. Anything else for the good of the order? He says, if you have any questions, send them over. I may do that. I think I do have some questions. All right. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
Nope, all good.
All right. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter @Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.